As Upper Sandusky, Ontario, Mansfield Senior and Northmor square off tonight. Well, not one match, but two, so don't go anywhere. Stay right here. We're going to have live and free high school wrestling coming up right after this break. You'll have Mike Skelton and Bruce Weirich. Stay tuned. You're watching high school wrestling live and free right here on the OH Report.
In your first home or making an impact in your community. At Park National Bank, what means a lot to you means a lot to us.
What's up, America? Brian Skoronsky here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report.
participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Northmor High School, where the OH Report is bringing you the early season wrestling quad. Tonight we're going to wrestle Northmor versus Mansfield Senior. Ontario will versus Upper Sandusky. My name is Bruce Weirich, and with me tonight commentary is Mike Skelton, and we're at the home of Mike Skelton. Right now we're going to sing the national anthem, and we'll be right back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the OH Report and tonight's wrestling quad. Mike, football season playoffs are tonight. They've got the Division II going at it, but we're here at the house that Mike Skelton built, Northmor. Talk about what's happening tonight.
It's a pretty good crowd here tonight, Bruce, isn't it? And it's really nice to see those wrestling mats down on the gymnasium floor. It's the opening night of wrestling around the state of Ohio, and a pretty good crowd here for a Thursday night on a cold December 1st. We're happy to be here.
One of the things I like about this early season one is you get to see the kids. They're still in, some of them are still in football form. They're getting, it takes a little bit of time to get back on the mat. These kids are on the mat. They're ready to go. And we have a great lineup tonight. Mike, you could probably tell us we have state qualifiers. We have kids that are top of their class in weight classes.
I count 8 state-ranked wrestlers featured here tonight. It's an amazing assembly for an early Thursday night in December. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be tough sometimes because coaches can throw their lineups around into a dual match, but we're going to try and let you know who's coming out. We're going to start at 144 pounds. They flip a coin to determine what weight class they begin duels with. And Northmor is going to throw out there a returning league champion, Bryce Cooper. Bryce Cooper's a fine young man. I know him personally. He's going to wrestle Chase Cole for Mansfield Senior. On the big mat that we're featuring, you're seeing Mansfield Senior wrestle Northmor. And on the other mat, Ontario is wrestling Upper Sandusky.
And because Northmore's a host school, we'll be focusing on their wrestling tonight. And you'll still be able to see it, but we'll talk a little bit more about Northmor.
Cooper with the takedown, 2 points.
Nice takedown. And this is early season. I'm looking for mistakes to happen. Some of these wrestlers have never wrestled before. This is where we're going to find out what we did this year. And everybody says, well, it takes time to get out of football and get back on the mat. But these wrestlers they look like they're ready to go tonight, Mike.
Looks like the officials ready to go, too. Brady Wiggison from Gallion High School, a returning area official who works the state meet every year. His dad coached at Gallion for years, where Brady placed in the state of Ohio and then went on to wrestle for Ashland University. Officiating on the other mat is Dave Blackford. We're happy to have both veteran officials here tonight.
Escape. Northmor let the wrestler go, gave him 1 point. Northmor back in the legs, takedown. Northmor's ahead 4-1 right now.
Mansfield Senior is coached by head coach Jesse. Jesse Palzer was a returning state runner-up for Mansfield Senior way back in the day, and now is coaching at his alma mater.
Northmor let Senior High off the bottom, 1 point escape, and then he goes right back in on the takedown. The score is now 6-2. 20 seconds to go in the match in the first period. And wrestling has started, Mike.
As I said, Jesse Palzer wrestled for Mansfield Senior. Northmore's head coach, Scott Carr, wrestled for Marion Harding, and then on to the University of Findlay. He's in his, I believe, 14th year as the head coach here at Northmor. He's done a fine job.
If you've never been to a wrestling match before, they don't use a buzzer. They use what they call a tapper. A young man will be out there, usually a JV wrestler, and he takes a wand, taps the official, and that's when the clock is out. So that's what he does when he comes out.
3 periods. We're into the second period.
The Tigers won the toss. They deferred. Northmor decided to take up. Northmore's on top, has control. Scores. They had a little problem with the clock getting this started. Now it's rolling.
There we go.
Senior High reversal, 2 points. Scores now 6-4.
These look like evenly matched athletes, don't they, Bruce?
Yeah, and that's one thing you like about wrestling. Wrestlers, you're within 5 pounds of each other. There's no overweight, no match.
Escape, 1 point.
The score is now 7-4. Northmore's been taken down, has been doing all the takedowns lately. Let's see if he attacks the legs again.
There are 14 weight classes in a high school wrestling match. Each team here tonight probably will put 12 out of the 14 weight classes filled. You'll see each team probably forfeit 2 weight classes.
It's early season. Kids are still making weight. We're going to talk about weight, making weight, what you have to do to get certified at a certain weight to wrestle in the tournaments.
It's amazing what wrestlers go through. They have to go through hydration testing, body fat assessment, and a monitored descent plan to get down to their desired weight.
2 point takedown, Senior High. The score is now 7-6. Senior High is behind by 1.
Cooper with the escape.
Nice escape. Did a little rock and roll, I used to call that. Score is now 8-6. Northmor back in on the legs right away. No wasted time. Senior High puts the old cross face in, going for the cross arm. It's a counter. Wrestling is nothing but one move after another move after another move.
Look at Coach Palzer out there. Yep. He's excited, isn't he?
2 point takedown. The score is now tied with 10 seconds to go in the second period, 8-8. Stalling.
Caution stalling, no points awarded.
Technical violation.
Locking hands, 1 point green.
What that means is that if you are on the mat, if you are down on the mat in the down position and you lock hands around somebody's waist, that's a technical violation, and it's a 1 point penalty. And right now, Northmor is ahead 9-8 going into the third period.
This is the 144-pound weight class. We're starting at 144, 14 weight classes. The next weight class is 150.
Northmor takes down.
Coach Paulser's a little upset, wants to talk to the official. One of our cameras is bound to see that. The OH report, wow, 5 cameras here tonight. Live and free, you are seeing it. 5 different camera angles. How about that? I'm a fan of the OH report and always honored when they ask me to talk wrestling.
Senior High's on top, has control. I always thought it was to the advantage of the bottom wrestler. He can get escape, get kicked out, get a reversal. I think it's easier to score sometimes on the bottom. Again, Northmor roll, gets it 1 point.
That's a Granby roll. He's done that now, I believe, 4 times.
And the score is now 11-8.
He's getting
with
away with it,
1:30 to go. And as the season goes on, these coaches practice, and they'll counter that move as time goes on.
But I'd keep trying it too if my opponent can't stop it.
If it works, continue to do it. Northmor in on the legs. Does not have control. Got to get behind him. Hook the leg. He's hooked the leg. Popped the head. 2 point takedown Northmor. The score is now 13-8 with 1 minute to go in the period.
I like this match. They've wrestled largely in the center of the circle. It's a 28-foot circle, and in the center of the mat you see a 10-foot circle. Any official wants you to wrestle towards the center and not the edge, and these 2 athletes have complied.
They've done a great job. And for an early season match, Mike, you're right. This is really good. Again, Cradle pulls him over, getting back points. You can see the official waving his hand. He'll give you the points on it.
When he gets to a count of 5, he's going to give you 3 points, but he did not get to a count of 5.
So he gives him 2. It is
Correct.
now Northmor 16-9. Both wrestlers are up. 15 seconds to go. Takedown Northmor. 18-9.
And that was a big takedown because that's going to make it a major decision, which is 14 points. Anytime you defeat your opponent by 8 points or more, that's a major decision. I shouldn't say more. If you get to 15, that's a technical fall. So 8 through 14 is a major decision worth 4 points. If you decision your opponent by 15 points, that's a technical fall worth 15 points. A pin is worth 6 points. Right now, you're going to see a forfeit. This is one of the 2 weight classes Northmor will forfeit, and that's worth 16 points, the same as a pin.
The 150-pound weight class will be a forfeit. Senior High is going to get his hand raised. And you get the forfeit, but he still had to make weight. And it goes on his record.
You can tell he's disappointed. That's Ohio Barber out there collecting that forfeit. And God bless him that he wanted to wrestle. He looked a little upset that he's collecting a forfeit. Now we're up to 157. And again, Northmore's going to forfeit. We have 2 forfeits here tonight from Northmor and 2 forfeits from Mansfield Senior. They don't match up. Northmore's going to forfeit 150 and 157. Mansfield Senior is going to forfeit 113 and 120 pounds. So now we're going to see some action, some real wrestling at 165 pounds. Northmore's putting onto the mat. It looks like Noel Ward. Noel Ward is out there for Northmor. And for Mansfield Senior, James Eichler. Eichler with the quick takedown.
Takes him right to his back, looking for back points. You have to have both shoulder blades pushed on the mat simultaneously. 3 points, back points. Senior High is now ahead 5-0.
It looks like young Noah Ward has caught an upperclassman in James Eichler.
And the official let him wrestle at the edge of the mat, and now he's going to take him back to the center. You have one of the top wrestling officials in the state doing this match.
He really is, isn't he?
He is. He is one of the tops.
This is 165.
Senior High's on top. We're still in the first period. Senior High's up 5-0. This is one of those early season matches where you might have a wrestler that's has a little bit more mat time, been working a little bit more, and you can say whatever you want, but experience pays off in wrestling, Mike.
Hey, I have nothing but good thoughts for anyone who toes that line and has the courage to wrestle one-on-one.
And right now, Senior High pulls him over, puts him to his back. He's getting back points. You can see the official waving his hand. As his hand is waved, he's counting points.
A lot of respect for anybody who's got the guts to toe that line and wrestle.
Right
Good job,
now,
Noah Ward.
Right now, Senior High has 3 back points. He'll be awarded once the move is completed. And usually you can watch the coaching staff in the corner. They'll tell you, let the guy up, move to a different position. 20 seconds left in the match. You can see the tapper moving out to the mat. And there's the pin. So we're in the second period.
Hey, Jess. Coach, who's going 75?
4.
Okay, here we are, up to 175 pounds for Northmor. We're going to throw onto the mat Ashton Clark. Ashton Clark is one of our better wrestlers. A fine young man
who was
a fine young man who was a district qualifier last year for Mount Gilead High School.
And he goes right to the takedown, but he's off the mat right away. The team scores right now is Senior High has 18, Northmor has 4. Team scores. 2 wrestlers are battling out there. They look like they're going at each other. Big-time wrestling.
A lot of hand fighting going in for positioning on the takedown. Hand fighting is one of the more sophisticated parts of a takedown.
And coaches, whoever can get hand control. If you can control your opponent's hands, you're up in the match.
You're looking for inside control if you're
there
new to
it
the
is.
sport.
Nice takedown.
Really
That's a double leg takedown.
Really sweet
right
takedown,
to the back.
right to his back.
2-point takedown and a pin. Northmor.
You see now why I called him one of Northmor's better wrestlers.
A pin in 42 seconds.
That was Ashton Clark for Northmor High School. You'll remember that name.
Pin in 42 seconds. What a match.
We're jumping up to 190 pounds now. You're going to see for Northmor at 190 pounds, it looks like Colton Brammer's out there.
Again, things are moving fast. The officials are making things roll. Good wrestling on the mat tonight. Senior High is looking for a upper body move. Working on the head. Look, they call it the head and arms. Again, Senior High had the option to put 2 wrestlers out. And there he is, a headlock. Senior High on the mat. Wow. And a pin.
Wow.
Senior High pin in 31 seconds.
So quick, we didn't have time to make much commentary on that match.
And we don't really know. We have to apologize who they put out there. Because during weigh-ins, 2 wrestlers weighed in at 190, Maurice Bradley and Gage Steffens. And we do not know who the coaches put out on the mat at that time.
Bradley and Stevens.
Yep. And there's a pin. Northmor wrestlers down a little bit. But what a pin.
You see the trainer out there with head coach Scott Carr.
And right now it's 24 team points for Senior High. 10 for Northmor.
Good time to talk about Northmor's coaching staff. Not only does Northmor feature head coach Scott Carr, but 2 other head coaches work on our wrestling staff. Coach Buck Workman is the assistant varsity coach. Coach Workman is also the head baseball coach, and Coach Scott Armrose is the JV coach. Coach Armrose is our highly successful head football coach. Our junior high coaches are Zach Zolman and Jamie Baldridge, both fine wrestlers who had storied careers for Northmor, and they're doing a good job with the grade school and junior high programs.
Mike, you talked about this a little bit earlier. We hit on it. We can watch the other match where you have Upper and Ontario going at it. But weight control. One of the big factors in wrestling is controlling your weight. It's different than any other sport. And when I was coaching it, that's when you really start to understand what they mean by controlling your weight. How tough is it, Mike?
Well, wrestling makes you a little bit more of a disciplined person, not just a disciplined athlete. A lot of people think that everybody in the lineup is losing weight, and that's really not the case. In a typical season, usually about a third of your kids are wrestling right what they weigh. A third of the kids are wrestling up a little bit, giving up some weight. And usually about a third of the kids in the lineup are losing a few pounds. For those few kids that are losing a few pounds, they're just coming off Thanksgiving, and they might not have put gravy on their turkey.
And the one thing I want to stress is back in the day, I mean way back in the day, 25, 30 years ago, they used to take wrestlers, they'd put them in plastic bags, they'd send them to the swimming pool or
those
send them to the boiler room.
Yeah, there's days are over.
And they'd sweat the pounds right off of them. And those days are over.
Just a little water weight loss, temporary weight loss, but those days are long over. Now, as I said, wrestlers go through a hydration testing, body fat assessment, and a monitored descent plan to get to their desired weight.
And
we are now up to 215 pounds, and I just mentioned our highly successful head football coach, Coach Armrose. This is his son out there right now, Nick Armrose. Nick's one of those young men that's bumping up. Nick only weighed in at 195, and he's bumped all the way up to 215. So he's given up 20 pounds to Jeremiah Lyons, who weighed in at 215.
Yeah, Lyons is not out on the mat. That's Leo Hess out there.
Leo Hess bumped up, too.
Yeah.
Leo Hess weighed in at 193, so this is a fair match with weight.
Yeah, so you got 2 top wrestlers just going at each other. Senior high is up 2-0 on the early takedown. He's trying to roll him to his back.
I should have recognized Leo Hess.
Yep.
Leo Hess is probably one of the finer wrestlers in the entire Mansfield area. He's ranked 6th in the state at 165 pounds, but he weighed in tonight at 193, almost 194, and he's wrestling all the way up at 215. Both these 2 kids are giving up 20 pounds to wrestle at that weight class.
And what coaches do, you want to get mat time. You want to get your kids on the mat, and if the state will allow you to go up and wrestle somebody, you go up and you wrestle a little bit. You have to work on mat time. That's how you get better.
I hope Armrose gets a little more mat time because he is a talented sophomore, Nick Armrose.
Leo Hess with the pen from senior high the pin in 1:08.
Leo Hess is ranked 6th in the state for a reason.
What a linebacker for senior high. His dad went to Ontario. I had his dad in class. And if we get a chance, we'll bring Leo up here and talk about what's it like having a son, one of the top wrestlers in the state, and coming off a great football season.
Okay, we're up to the heavyweights. Braden Keener for Northmor weighed in at 237, and Kevin McDowell for Mansfield Senior weighed in at 258.
And, you know, Mike, it used to be the day when everybody would get to the heavyweights and you go, oh, man, it was like 2 bears out there dancing. Well, now they're athletes, and they're going at it right now, and this is what you like to see.
These are both young heavyweights, though.
Good wrestlers, matched up in weight, going at it.
Northmor
has a 2-point takedown, and he's got him on his back, and the pin.
You're literally looking at 2 freshman heavyweights.
21-second pin for Mansfield Senior, for Northmor.
Good job, Braden. Good job.
Great job.
And now we go to the lightweights, 106 pounds.
Back in the old days, they used to always start the weight classes at the lightweights and work your way up. Well, it got to be pretty bad because, the heavyweights were always last. So now they flip a coin. You flip a coin and say, okay, we're going to start at what weight? This is the weight. Tonight they flipped the coin. We're starting at 144. Now we're working our way back down. We're at the 106.
Now, this is a fascinating match, and let me tell you why. Northmor is putting out a young man named Cohen Hurst. Cohen Hurst is a junior in high school. I can remember wrestling lightweight as a junior in high school and giving up a lot of weight my younger years. That's what Cohen did his freshman and sophomore year. He weighed in the 90s last year, but now he's a legitimate 106-pounder, weighing in at 105 pounds tonight as a junior in high school, and he's wrestling Devin Phillips, who just weighed in at 82. So poor Devin is at a great disadvantage out there.
And there's a quick pin right now, quick pin. You're at 106. You got to get the mat time. You step out on the mat. Young man probably hasn't had a lot of matches.
He's
from
only
senior
a freshman.
high.
Devin's only a freshman.
Yeah, he doesn't realize what's going on. But, hey, you got to start somewhere.
That was Cohen Hurst 2 years ago.
And that was a pin in 14 seconds.
Ooh, that puts you in the Northmor Wrestling history book right
that
there.
That might throw you
I'm
in there.
holding a copy right here of the Northmor Golden Knight Honor Roll.
We're now at 113, weight class, 113.
Anything under 15 seconds puts you in that honor roll. At 113 pounds.
Senior high does not have a wrestler at 113, so they're going to forfeit.
Northmore's putting out a freshman that is ranked in the state of Ohio. His name's Ethan Amons. It looks like he's going to collect a forfeit, as is the 120-pounder. But you'll hear a lot about these Northmor youngsters as time goes on. Here comes another talented freshman. This is Brady Carr. Ethan Amons is the youngest of the Amons brothers. They've gone through here the past 10 years and done well. One wrestles for Otterbein, I believe, right now. That's Brady Carr that just collected a forfeit at 120. That's the head coach's son. Ethan and Brady are both freshmen, and now we get to 126 pounds, and Northmor is going to throw out Cohen Becker. Cohen Becker placed 7th in the state as a freshman last year.
Yeah, he's going against senior high, and right now Northmore's taking the lead, 34-30.
Cohen wrestled
nice
113 last year and was 7th in the state. This year he's bumped up a couple weight classes to 126, and he is currently ranked 5th in the state. He doesn't fool around.
And that's what
just like Amons, he had a couple of older brothers that wrestled for Northmor. One wrestled for Kent State. One currently still is in college wrestling for Duke University.
That was a pin in 17 seconds.
Good job, Mr. Becker.
The Knights are now up 40-30 team score. We're now at the 132-pound weight class. And one of the things that happens is sometimes these matches move so fast. And this thing is just flying by. There is no way Adam, our tech, can handle we can't get stats over to him fast enough, and things just roll. And that's what's happening right now.
We've just had a half a dozen quick pins.
Yeah.
At 132, Northmore's throwing out onto the mat Thomas Keene. And at 132, for Mansfield Senior, you're looking at James Davis.
Senior high's in on a single leg. He's got to pull it to complete the move. Northmor, crossface.
I take it back, Bruce. I think that's Christian Douglas out there.
Yeah, things get all mixed up. Senior high's going for a takedown. Has a takedown. Puts the half in. Pulls him on his back. Getting back points. Could be a quick pin.
Boy, they are moving fast tonight, aren't they?
It moves fast. When it's an early season, kids haven't had a lot of mat time. You're coming out of wrestling or you're coming out of football. As time goes on, things will tighten up. Senior high got the half in. He's sinking a little bit. People do not realize how tough it is to work off your back. And there's the pin. The pin was in 53 seconds.
A lot of respect for anybody who fights off their back.
Yep.
Now the next weight class is 138.
This is the last one.
Here comes another freshman for Northmor that's extremely talented. This is Carson Campbell, who at 138 pounds is ranked 5th in the state of Ohio as a freshman. He was a junior high state champion, Bruce, and that's a big deal in Ohio because in our junior high state championships, we don't do Division I, Division II, Division III. It's all mixed together, This young man was a junior high state champion, and it looks like he's going to play a little takedown.
Takedown, then he lets him up. Northmore's ahead 2-0.
His first
Another
high school match.
takedown.
His first high school match.
It's 4-2.
Incidentally, his older brother is Landon Campbell, who's a 215-pounder for Galleon and wrestles for Brent Terrell up there. Landon Campbell is ranked number 3 in the state of Ohio.
And right now, Northmore has them on the back, and it's a pin.
Wow.
A pin in 37 seconds.
We are moving so fast.
It is unbelievable that is. Now, right now, we're getting the mic set up here. We're going to spend a little time while the Northmor Senior High matches are over, and we're going to talk to a wrestler that we just saw on the mat. I had his dad in class at Ontario when I was teaching there. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike, we have Leo Hess up here with us.
Ranked 6th in the state of Ohio. And Leo, I'm fascinated to talk to you because you're ranked in the state of Ohio at 165 pounds. What? Give us a hint. Where do you want to settle this year?
I'm probably going to settle at like 190. I think that's a great weight for me. I think I'm going to get down there and then start turning a lot of this fat into muscle.
Well, you weighed in about 194, and when you say fat, son, I don't see much fat on that body.
Leo, how long is it going to take you to get the football nerves out of you and get back into a wrestling mode?
They were out the first week. I just had I was thinking about wrestling even during the football season. I had to try and put it off the entire season. It's just something you just can't like keep inside you.
One of the big things that I thought about senior high football this year was that defense senior high had, and you were the leader out there.
Yeah, that defense was just all hard out there. I feel like we had a great coach that backed us up and made sure we were doing the right things all the time. I feel like that was a great reason that we were so dominant.
You start your wrestling season, and when you go from football is a team sport. There's 11 guys out there on defense, and I saw you take command of that defense numerous times when we called football games for you. Now you're into wrestling. How do you make it a team sport for yourself instead of an individual sport?
You push everybody to their hardest. Every time you're out, you see them, they're teaching you stuff, you're teaching them stuff, you're pushing them 100 to their 100%, to their capabilities. Not every guy's going to give you 100% in that mat. You got to make them.
I'll tell you, I'm really proud of you.
Me too. A mature, intelligent young man.
Wherever you go, you have aspirations to continue. What are your plans after senior high?
I want to go wrestle somewhere for college.
Wrestle? What about football?
I don't know about the size for football yet, but if I get a good enough offer for football, but my love is definitely in wrestling.
And, you know, wrestling is a heck of a sport at the college level. And a good friend of mine, he's the head coach at Otterbein, and I go down there and I watch some of the meets in college, and I'll tell you what, it's cutthroat, Mike. When you watch those guys in college, they know what they're doing and they go at it. But, Leo, I'll tell you, I'm proud of you. I watch you. I follow you. I do everything I can to keep an eye on you.
Have a good season, Leo.
Have a great season, and we'll see you at the Gorman.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Godspeed, brother.
Yep.
5 cameras here tonight, live and free. The OH report. Northmor in round 1 defeated Mansfield Senior 46-36. You're watching now Upper Sandusky and Ontario battle on the other mat. The winner's going to get to take on Northmor on that big mat, that big, beautiful Golden Knight mat. And the losers of the 2 duels will wrestle for 3rd place on the other mat.
And the one thing, Mike, we got a little time right now. You know, wrestling, and we can talk about this all we want, but it's becoming a big sport, not only for the gentlemen, but this year, as they had last year, the girls now have their own wrestling tournament.
I'm glad you brought that up. Girls wrestling, Bruce, is exploding. It's the fastest growing sport across the United States, and this year, for the first time ever, the Ohio High School Athletic Association is sanctioning girls wrestling. It is a sanctioned sport, and they're going to have a state championship that runs at the same time as the boys' state championship in the Schottenstein Center. I'm told the girls are going to have their own mat or two, and for the same price of admission, you're going to get to see the girls' state championships as the boys' state championships. It's a real good thing.
And
now,
let me tell you my little bit of history of girls wrestling. There was a time when I was at Ontario. I was coaching at Ontario. I was a JV coach, and then I went down and worked on
you were a good coach.
Middle school coach. Then I did the biddy program in there.
I remember you well as a coach, but as a head football coach too. Go ahead.
My one son, Travis, wrestled biddy. Then he became a basketball player. But one of the biggest matches he ever had, the only match he ever lost in bidding wrestling, was to a young lady named Jessie Shirley from Northmor. And Mike, tell us a little bit about her.
Down through the years, Northmore's had 3 or 4 girls letter wrestling on the boys' team. And Jessie Shirley by far was the best of those. Not to diminish what the other young ladies accomplished, but Jessie was the first girl to win a match on a boys' team at the district level in the entire state of Ohio. She wrestled collegiately and now runs a girls' team here in Central Ohio. I encourage you young ladies to check out her girls program. We would like to get some more girls actively on our team representing Northmor. Right now you're looking at 4 teams here tonight, and none of the 4 teams have a girl on the team. It is a young lady can wrestle for the boys' team and then compete in the girls' state championship in March at the end of the year.
Some of the I was a wrestling official for a while, and some of the biggest problems I ever had was when a young man would wrestle a girl. And, back in the days, boys would even avoid them. They wouldn't wrestle them.
And they just want to be treated like athletes. They don't want to be treated like a girl wrestler. They're an athlete.
Yeah. And, that caused some problems, and the boys didn't want, but now they have their own tournament. And the one thing that I never really liked was injuries. A young man is going to mature. He's going to get physically a little bit stronger than a lady earlier, and you have injuries on that. And I never like to see the injury thing. And what we're going to do now is take a little bit of a break here, and when we come back with you, we'll start round 2. And, boy, if it goes as fast as round 1, we got a problem tonight. We're going to be out of here in no time. But this is the OH Report live to you from Northmor. I'm Bruce Weirich with Mike Skelton. We'll be back in a moment.
Thanks, Bruce.
Park National Bank treats your dreams like they're our own. Whether it's making memories in your first home or making an impact in your community. At Park National Bank, what means a lot to you means a lot to us.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
And right now, Mike, we're sitting up here. We got a little bit of time before the next matches, and when I found somebody in the stands, Kevin Kroll. Now, Kevin Kroll was the Ontario wrestling coach, did a great job there.
Highly
the
successful.
program kind of fell a little bit, but he brought it up, had a great run with a lot of wrestlers going to state, built the program, and then he stepped out. He became a wrestling official. Once his son graduated, Carter, and he's wrestling for Lords, he said, hey, I'm going to go watch my son wrestle. He turned the program over to West Turnbull. But here he is, Mike, Kevin Kroll.
Coach Kroll did a whale of a job. I didn't realize until I asked him a moment ago, he was the head coach for 9 years at Ontario. So he's going to know a lot of these names. But, Kevin, the first thing I've got to ask you, there are a lot of great athletes associated with Ontario that are named Ole and Turnbaugh. But correct me if I'm wrong, the finest athlete of them all is Addie Turnbaugh. Am I right?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get in the middle of that family.
The soccer player of the year.
Yeah, no.
Head coach Wes Turnbaugh's niece, I believe.
Yep, that's right.
That's
right.
And I'm pretty sure that we can call her the finest athlete in the family.
Well, I guess we'll say that with an asterisk.
Yeah.
Yet to see what Mason might do on the mat, right? But Addie's running the show right now.
Mason's pretty good.
Kevin, you ran the program at Ontario for 9 years. And when you're a head coach, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. What's it like being off the mat now?
Yeah, I didn't realize how much time. When you take a program, if you're all in, and that was my mentality.
Yeah.
So it's a 365 job, and we would wrestle a lot in the off season, and then of course during the season. So I guess the biggest thing I noticed being off of the mat, it's the free time, and I didn't even realize how much time was invested. So I was kind of lost a little bit last year as not coaching wrestling, but I changed and went to the dark side, as they say, and
You're an official.
Yeah, I got certified in 2014. And then I moved up to Class 1 3 or 4 years ago. So I was doing some stuff, but when you're coaching, you just can't, you can't referee much. But if guys got in a pinch or duel something local, I'd do that. But I actually enjoy being in a different viewpoint now.
Yeah. And the other thing, wrestling happens in the winter. Okay,
Yeah.
It's in the winter.
Yep.
When practice starts in the morning, because you had morning workouts, it's dark out.
Yep.
When you leave it, it's dark. You never see daylight, and you and Mike both know.
I remember that.
When you go to a tournament on a Saturday, you get there when it's dark. You have weigh-ins. When you leave, it's dark. There's no windows in a gym.
Right.
And now you get to go home and see the sunlight.
Oh, yeah, it's different, someone I was talking to James Baldridge down here, and him and I started together down at Mount Gilead,
One of Northmor's old wrestlers.
That's right.
Who had some fine sons. One was a state champion. One was state runner-up.
Right. And, like I told him, I said, I'm doing better at work. I'm in sales, so it always gave me the flexibility to do those coaching things. But now I concentrate more on work and honestly just trying to be a better official and enjoying watching my kid wrestle at the next level.
And that's what I was going to bring up next. I had both your sons at class at Ontario when I was there. They're outstanding young men. One's in the military. He's out now, right?
Yeah, he graduated from Ohio State. He's a second lieutenant in the Air Force. He's at flight school down in Pensacola right now.
God bless him.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And your younger son is now wrestling for Lords?
Yep, he's a sophomore. It's his second year.
That's
They're
Carter.
starting 197.
Carter,
Yep.
And I saw last week another Donnie Strine showed up for the match one time,
He
was
did.
up there watching it.
Yep.
And what's it feel sitting on the sidelines now, not being out there on the mat when he's in college? Because when he was in high school, I remember you sitting in the corner talking, coaching him.
Yeah.
And now somebody else is doing that. How do you feel about sitting back now?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot to be said about just being a dad.
Yeah.
As a head coach, sometimes it's a curse to be the head coach and your kids wrestle for you. My kids always had great respect for me. They didn't call me dad when we were in the room and stuff. It was always coach. But you don't get to you don't get the comfort in the losses, and there were some tough ones, especially late in the year, you know.
Yep.
And you don't get to revel in the wins. So now in college, I just get to be a support, line. And I got to tell you, Doc Kelly does a great job up at Lord's.
Oh yeah.
And I just kind of sit back. But there's been some times college is a little different. I'm in the stands. He still hears me, and I try to leave it to Coach, but. They always tell me, hey, if you see something we don't, get in there,
Get in there, yeah.
But I enjoy just being a dad.
Well, Kevin, I'll tell you, you did a great job, Ontario. You took the program that was a little on the rough side when you took it over. You took it to the top, and then you turn around and turn it over to Western Ball, who was a state champ. You got Periol, who was a state champ. You got Montiel, who's out there. So you left the program in good hands, but you did a great job running it.
Well, I appreciate that. My motto always was, and I do this in my day-to-day life, I want to leave it better than I found it.
Oh yeah.
And I want to, make sure that it's, in good shape for the next guy. And here's the thing. It was for me when I took over at Ontario, the disconnect that was going on was the biggest problem.
Yeah.
So once we got things rolling, I pulled Wes in. He was really reluctant to begin with because he wasn't sure about doing that. And then, we got Monty in the last couple years that I was there. And it's, I think some people just figure, well, it's because their kids are all there. I think that's how we all get involved at some point.
True.
We're not educators, so it's different. When you're in the hallways and you're recruiting kids, easier that way. But
and I'll tell you another thing. You got to get the biddy program going.
That's where I started too. Yeah,
you have to get a biddy program.
The biddy program is the foundation of any championship team.
Absolutely.
Everybody's got to understand
100%.
And I'll tell you what I learned. You're not going to be a junior. You can go out for basketball and play on the basketball team.
Sure.
But you can't be a junior and never wrestle in your life and step on the mat and expect to succeed.
No.
You got to practice all your life. But, Kevin, great talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck to you. And I'll tell you, I respect everything you've done with the program.
I appreciate it.
I enjoyed this immensely.
Yeah, well, I had a great time. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate chatting with both of you.
Thanks.
All right.
Coach.
Good talking to you, Kevin.
Yep. Thanks again.
Thanks, Coach.
And, he made a great point there. You got to get the biddy program started. And, Mike, back in the day, and we talk about this all the time, Northmor had one of the best biddy programs.
Yes, we did.
We built a great program. I used to take a bus. I used to load 50 elementary kids on a bus, and we'd come to Northmor and wrestle you in biddy program. That's how you get the program started.
Let me brag about Northmor for a minute, since many of our sponsors are from Northmor. I think people in the cities just think of us as a little old country school. When the State Department of Education handed out their district report cards this year, Northmor had the best scores of any school in Marl County, any school in Richland County, any school in Crawford County, any school in Marion County. And if I looked up somebody look up Knox County and call in. Probably Knox County as well. Northmor is a hidden treasure, and along with those high test scores down through the years, we've featured a lot of high caliber wrestlers as well.
Yeah, I did some football games. When you take a look at your football facility, it's outstanding. And the one thing I really like about it, when you look at your all-weather turf football field, there's not a lot of ads on it. Some of these times you go to these fields and they got ads everywhere. Your community did it right.
Our school
they put the money into it, and they built a field for Northmor without all the sponsors on it.
Our school district is an exemplary school district. We've only asked for one operating levy since 1993. It failed, and the superintendent, who's a good friend of mine, basically said, well, okay, you're right. And we operated without – it's a financially stable school district. It's just a hidden treasure within the Marl County, Richland County, Crawford County areas.
Well, one of the big things is they sponsor this wrestling quad tonight. I mean, you have enough sponsors out here that will pay us to get out here and get this done for us.
5 cameras. The OH Report, live and free, baby.
And they do a great job with this tonight. And, you look at the big event. the J.C. Gorman, which is the big one.
No. The big event is this Saturday when Northmor hosts a JV tournament with 22 teams.
There you go, and the place will be loaded. And right now we're getting ready. It's going to be Northmor and Ontario going at it.
Here we are, 140. We're going to
start at a 140-pound weight class.
No. They move up one weight class every time they wrestle. So we started at 150. And remember, Northmor does not feature a 150 or a 157.
So Ontario comes out, gets the forfeit at 150.
Ontario's going to collect the first 2 forfeits at 150 and 157. And now Northmore's got every other weight class filled.
And this should be a good match. When you have Ontario and you have Northmor going at it, this is, I'm excited about this match here. And then on the other mat, we have Upper Sandusky going against Senior High.
I wish we could give you an accurate lineup every weight class, but as you saw with Leo Hess up here, who's ranked in the state at 165 pounds and wrestled tonight at 190, everything's kind of speculative at this point in the season. Who's going where, what weight class? But I'm pretty sure Ontario is going to forfeit the next weight class, 165 pounds. I don't believe they have a 165-pounder.
And the coaches are discussing things now, and we're at a very disadvantage. And our tech guy, Adam, he just shakes his head sometimes because things move so fast. In that last match, we had like 6 pins in a row with the forfeits, and it took 10 minutes to get through 6 matches.
Out of the 14 weight classes, we forfeited 2. Mansfield Senior forfeited 2. So that tells you we wrestled 10 matches, and I think 7 of them ended up in quick pins.
In the first period, so it went fast. And that's what happens in the early season. The coaches are at the table right now discussing, hey, who are we going to put on the mat? What's going on?
Yeah, who's going to forfeit what
We
weight
have
class?
no idea what's going on.
There's Zach Zolman coming across the mat for Northmor. Zach was a 3-time state qualifier for Northmor High School when he was in school. He's now a junior high coach here. As here comes his compatriot.
And right now on the other mat, Senior High and Upper Sandusky are going at it. So this is great. OH Report has 2 cameras on the mats. There's always something going on.
The coaches are just trying to figure out the lineups as we enter this opening night of the season. Hey, I see John Spencer in the gymnasium over there.
Yeah, Spencer won't come up.
John Spencer is in the print media, but John Spencer wrote many years for the Mansfield News Journal and is currently doing some wrestling articles for them. An extremely knowledgeable and gifted writer.
So as confused as we are up here about who's going on the mat, the coaches are even kind of shaking their heads. The person we thought was going on the mat is not going out on the mat. Now somebody else is going out. The 2 coaches are just kind of talking it over. And that's what it is. It's early season. We just want to get the kids on the mat and get something going. Maybe, Mike, you can recognize who they put on the mat. We can figure out what weight class this is. So right now we have 2 wrestlers on mat 1, Northmor and Ontario. Ontario's looking for upper body control, working to a double leg.
I don't know why they moved down a weight class.
Takedown. 2 points Ontario. He's going to get some back points. You figure out who we have down there, Mike, wrestling?
They moved down a weight class instead of moving up.
Ontario is ahead. 4-zip. Looks like he's getting more back points. Three points, Ontario, near pin. And a little bit of chaos right now. Who's wrestling who?
Yeah, I don't know how they arranged this. They should have started at 150, then 157. That's Bryce Cooper for Northmor out there, and Bryce Cooper is our 144-pounder. I don't know why they moved down to 144, but they have.
And right now, Ontario is ahead 7-zip. Coaches are talking to the official. Little early indecision on what's going on.
Well,
and everybody's testing everybody right now.
That's Mason Turnbull out there for Ontario.
Ontario. Turnbull is a name. Wes Turnbull's the head coach.
Well, Mason Turnbull is ranked 8th in the state of Ohio at 138 pounds.
He has a
but
far
it looks
cradle.
Like he's wrestling 144 here tonight.
Puts the cradle on. Northmor trying to counter it, break the hold.
Those are actually two pretty good athletes out there right now.
This is great wrestling, Northmor, Ontario. He still has the cradle locked up. To get out of a cradle, you got to break the guy's hands. Northmore struggling to get the hands broken.
Cooper, in his first year in the varsity lineup last year, was a league champion. And, of course, everybody knows who Mason Turnbull is.
No back points given. Ontario is ahead 7-0. First period, 30 seconds ago. Turnbull's controlling the arm.
You're looking at the head coach's son. That's Wes Turnbull's son.
Keeps the young man. The official brings him back. Going to discuss the score again. Anytime a coach has a discussion, all he's got to do is raise his hand and goes over to the mat. He'll talk to the official. They're checking on the scores. It's early season.
There are the two head coaches right now discussing. I really don't know how they got down to 144. They should have started at 150, then go 157. And you saw those two kids come out and collect forfeits, but then they jump back down to 144.
Early season, Mike, early season. So right now, Turnbull's up 7-0. He's in the up position. Nice roll by Northmor to get out. Good counter by Turnbull. Turnbull looking for back points. Didn't get enough, didn't hold it there long enough. He just kind of rolled through the tapper, and first period's over.
Hey, I see my grandson over there. Shout out to Will Kruger.
The score is now 9-0, Ontario.
I think Will might wrestle for Northmor one day.
Turnbull, he won the toss. He deferred. Northmore's choice. Northmor goes down.
Shout out to our superintendent over there, Chad Redmond. Chad Redmond, superintendent here tonight. Of course, he was a fine wrestler for Bucyrus and then Ashland University, and has been our superintendent here now for about 10 years. I'm guessing 10 years. He was also the head wrestling coach for a number of years at Bucyrus High School.
We are now in the second period. We got a problem with the clock. It says there's 19 minutes left in this period. I think somebody hit the wrong button.
And that's why I'm...
Turnbull's using a little bit of an advanced move, getting back points.
I'm mentioning some of the dignitaries in the gymnasium trying to ignore that clock and the score.
Turnbull is slowly working his way into a pin combination. He now has a half put in. Very difficult to get out of this.
Both schools
there's the pin.
Both schools feature 3 wrestlers ranked in the state of Ohio, but the 3 wrestlers ranked for Ontario's Wes Turnbull are ranked high. Jacob Oles, a projected state champion. His brother Hayden Gray is ranked 6th in the state at 106, and Mason Turnbull is ranked 8th in the state at 138. But he just wrestled 144 right there. There are the two head coaches right there. They're laughing on the mat, trying to figure out, I think they're trying to figure out, why did we wrestle that match?
And who's wrestling now? They're bringing him back. We may figure out what's going on here soon.
Wes, 50 and 57 next. Okay. All right.
So we're trying to figure out who they're sending to the mat. It looks like 50. Ontario's going to take the forfeit.
They're going to do those forfeits again that they did a few moments ago. Here come the forfeits at 50 and 57.
And when you wrestle early season like this, coaches just want to get kids on the mat, so you kind of throw them all over the place.
This is 165 pounds, and I can tell you that Ontario will forfeit that.
Yeah, Northmore's going to take the forfeit.
James Eichler. Good job, James Eichler. You made weight. You deserve the win. So you saw several forfeits in a row there.
There we go.
Now we're up to 175 pounds, or we should be.
We may see somebody wrestle here. We'll get it figured out.
At 175 pounds, Ontario weighed in 2 wrestlers, so I'm not really sure which one's going to come out. There's Ashton Clark for Northmor coming out. No.
They're still trying. We're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure it out. So we now have 2 wrestlers on the mat, 175-pound weight class. The scoreboard says 205. Ontario, arm control, single leg takedown, 2-point takedown, Ontario. Ontario kicks it out. Score is now 2-1, Ontario. Northmor.
That's either Cole Dilley or Dylan Floyd for Ontario.
Ontario in on a single leg, lifts it up, great strength, takes him down, 2-point takedown again. The score is now 4-1. Ontario kicks out the Northmor wrestler, score is now 4-2.
Northmor sent out Cole Perkins.
Again, Ontario single leg, takes the takedown, 2 points again, 6-2.
Northmor actually weighed in 3 175-pounders.
And right now, Ontario has him in a pin combination. The official is counting. And a pin. The pin was in the first period, 57 seconds. And ladies and gentlemen, we have no clue what's going on up here right now.
Well, I can tell you who's coming up now for Northmor. This is Ashton Clark.
And right now, Ontario has 18 team points, Northmor 6. And what weight class we at, Mike?
Well, they're going to have to call this 190 pounds. Ashton Clark doesn't weigh 190 pounds. He weighed 172, but he's bumping up. And he's going to wrestle a Ontario wrestler, either Jordan Reed or Landon Swords. They weighed in 2 190-pounders. Which one did you send out, Coach?
Northmor on a quick takedown, single leg. 2-point takedown, Northmor. I don't even think the official scores knows what's going on right now.
I'm having a good time.
Oh, hey, good wrestling, both matches.
You're getting an early season, early. This is the first legal night of wrestling in the entire state of Ohio.
Northmor, high leg kick. Trips him down, keeps control of him. Nice job by the official. The number one thing for the officials, nobody gets hurt. They want to really prevent injuries. A lot of the rule changes that have come about lately have been for protection of the wrestler on the mat.
Well said.
And wrestling officials, it's a dying breed. There are not a lot of wrestling officials out there, and the ones we do have, we have to try and keep. They do a great job. We have 2 of the top wrestling officials on the mats tonight.
That's Dave Blackford officiating this dual match.
Northmore's ahead 2-0. He's got they call it a cross-body ride. Ontario's working his way out of it. 1-point escape, Ontario. Both wrestlers up.
One of the more evenly paced matches we've seen here tonight.
This might go 3 periods,
yeah,
Mike.
We've seen a lot of quick pins here tonight.
Oh! Northmor couldn't continue the roll. He might get stuck here. The tapper's out 1 second.
Not even a back point. No stuck.
Red has choice. Green has choice. Green defers.
Northmore's
Ontario's
green.
going to have the
Ontario's
choice.
red. Ontario chooses down. Northmore up.
We're in the second period. Ontario's ahead 3-2. Ontario chose down. Northmor has to keep him on the mat, stay on top, or he's going to lose 1 or 2 points.
Matches are 2-2-2 in length if you're new to the sport. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
And we got a nice crowd here tonight, Mike.
The longest 6 minutes in sports. Yeah, it is a nice crowd.
Northmore's on top. He's in control.
A lot of wrestling dignitaries here. I see a lot of people that know what they're doing, know what they're watching.
Northmor had him on his back, but when you get a wrestler to his back, you got to maintain him there for at least 3 count. 1, 2, 3.
You get to that third count,
If
it's
you don't
2
get,
points.
if you don't get the count, you lose the points. Right now, Northmore's on top, still has control.
You'll see the official count, too. You'll see him wave. If he just goes 1, 2, no points. But if he gets to 3, 2 points.
This match might be the first one to go to full 3 periods.
If he gets to 5, it's a 3-point near fall.
Ontario stands up. Look for the head and arms. Northmor takes him back to the mat.
Out of bounds.
Bring him back to the center. Northmor has an option. Instead of going back on top, he's going to say, hey, I'm going to let him up.
1 point.
1 point
Escape.
for Ontario for the escape. It's now 4-2 Ontario. Northmor needs to take down. Northmor needs to take down to tie it up.
4-2 score.
Head and arms tried by Ontario.
He's
Got to
trying-
kick the hip into it.
He's trying the head and arm.
Oh, there he is. Can he hold it?
He has held it.
And he gets it.
2-2.
2-point takedown and back points.
Now they're over there on the boundary line. That's what it's
And
called.
there's the pin. Ontario pin. 3:46. In 3 minutes and 46 seconds.
Those were
for
2
the
good
pin.
wrestlers going at it tonight.
And they're 2 young kids. You can see them going out there. They both made a few mistakes here and there.
Okay, we're up to 2:15 now. 2:15. Here comes Nick Armrose again, bumping up. Nick weighs in at 195, and he's given up 20 pounds to a 215-pounder who weighed in at 204. His name is Braylon Boone. Braylon Boone, I can tell you, because they didn't weigh in 3 wrestlers at that weight class, that's who's out there, Braylon Boone.
So right now we have Ontario and Northmor. The coaches are still checking, see if we got the right people. You
Yeah.
want to make sure they line up with the right weight classes.
You're big time right. When early in the year like this, the lineups are confusing. You're right. You want to make sure you send the right kid out for the right weight class.
You don't want to get anybody hurt. Nice early season matches. People, you got to remember, if you were to take this same team and go at it later in the season, you see different wrestling.
Oh.
Big difference.
Different wrestling and wrestlers in different weight classes as well.
And it's
they
called,
hit that boundary line right there.
Yep, it's called mat time. And you can practice all you want, but getting mat time with an official is what's the important part.
Wow, that was a nice takedown.
Nice single leg takedown, takes him over. Scores now 2-0 Ontario. Mason Turnbull. Yep.
Hey, how you doing, Mason?
And things are looking good. Ontario 2-0. And a pin. Another pin for Ontario.
You going to go 138?
Mason Turnbull.
Are you going to go 138?
That's who that is.
I don't know. Right.
What's his name?
Okay. Okay, here we go. I am now seated. We have talked Mason Turnbaugh into joining us up here at the head table. Mason is...
No. Julian.
Julian McGinney. Julian McGinney?
That's you, right,
yes,
Julian?
Sir.
Yeah.
How are you, Julian?
I'm doing all right.
What weight class are you going tonight?
Right now I'm wrestling 150.
What do you weigh?
Currently I weigh 144. I'm about 6 pounds under.
I saw that.
Yep.
So you collected a forfeit tonight at 150?
No, I was supposed to collect a forfeit, but got ready to go walk out there and get it, and they had a match for me, Northmor.
You wrestled 144 then, didn't you? Actually, they bumped the 44.
Yeah, they bumped the
up
44
to
up to me. Yep.
Okay, now I'm glad you came up here, Julian, to explain what we were witnessing, because they don't have an announcer announcing names and weight classes. We were trying to figure that out because originally they sent out 2 wrestlers to collect forfeits. Then they brought you all back.
Yeah, they sent me and Jimmy Younger out there. We both collected it. The Northmor coach had something to say about it, so I had to walk out there and take a match.
Well, Julian, you defeated a good wrestler from Northmor who's a defending league champion, so congratulations.
Thank you.
What grade are you in?
I'm a freshman.
Wow.
What are your goal this year? What's your goal this year?
My goal this year, it's really just work on getting up to 100 wins by my senior season.
100 wins?
Yep.
What's it feel like going into a wrestling room when you have state champions as your coaches?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a really great feeling out in the wrestling room. It gets pretty hype in there.
How long have you wrestled, Julian?
Since about my 4th grade year.
Biddy program?
Yep, Biddy. Last year, I was trying to make it to state. A couple matches away, lost in districts. Came in here weighing a couple pounds under. Really hoping to do a good job tonight. I was hoping for at least 1 win, but we came out with 2, so.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. Back in the old day when I was at Ontario, your head coach was in my middle school program.
Oh, yeah.
Montiol, he was in the middle school program. Yeah. You know, they are all there. We ran them through. And the thing is, you got to get that mat time. You must put the mat time in the summertime?
Oh, yeah. You can't, with wrestling out here, you can't really take any time off. You want to do good in the in-season, you got to take some time in the off, you know?
And we're going to have to apologize to you because we were calling you Mason Turnbaugh when you were out there.
I hadn't met you yet, Julian.
Yeah.
You're only a freshman. I'm happy to,
and that's one of the things.
You.
What do you think about, what's your goal for the J.C. Gorman, one of the biggest meets in the whole area?
Really, I want to go out there, work on myself, work on my moves, really get good at it. Hopefully, by senior year, we're doing pretty good in it.
What weight class are you going to eventually like to, end up in?
I mean, right now, like as you saw tonight, I was doing pretty good out there in 50. So either staying here or, I don't know, it just depends on what happens. Could be bumping down to 38 or 44.
What are you eligible to?
By next meet, or no, by the Galleon meet. Next week on Wednesday, we wrestle Shelby in a duel. And then after that, we have a Galleon meet. And by Galleon, I'm eligible for 38.
That's where you're going to certify. Wow. That's a lot of weight.
Not really. Right now, we're at 44, so just got to drop a couple and we'll be there.
Yeah, 6 pounds. You can do that if you want to.
Oh, yeah.
You're young. You've got to. What's it like in that wrestling room?
Ontario wrestling room. It gets pretty warm in there. Really, there's a lot of heart out there, and we have Riley Koshensky out there as one of our coaches. He's in there. Really, Riley sees you do something wrong, he corrects it perfectly. He likes to see you do it until you get it right. Wes is in there. Wes is really doing a good job. JP, Monty. I mean, our whole coaching staff is really nice.
All right, help us out a minute here. The OH Report is doing a heck of a job with a split screen right now. We're talking to you up here, Julian, and down on the mat, I think I'm seeing Aiden Ohl bump up a weight class. Is that Aiden?
Yes, that is.
Aiden is your 106-pounder, I believe, but he's wrestling 113 in this match.
I believe so.
But I think he is going to go 106. He's ranked in the state at 106.
Yes,
but
sir.
Again, as we've explained, it's early season. It's speculative.
Early season, just coming off Thanksgiving. Everyone's a little heavier.
But Aiden Ohl is wrestling. These are actually 2 state-ranked wrestlers going at it.
Oh, yeah. Aiden can hold himself really good out there.
Yeah. These are 2 state-ranked wrestlers that are both freshmen in high school. Isn't that amazing, Bruce?
It is. early season match. Look at them going at it. Well, Julian, we'll let you get back with the team. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
And we need to apologize to you when you're out there.
I got to tell you, I was impressed with you.
Thank you.
You looked me right in the eye, and you gave me a mature conversation for a freshman in high school.
Thank you.
Which means so much more to me than wrestling ability. You're going to be somebody.
Thank you.
But
I am so glad he came up.
I would bet my bottom dollar he's a good student in school.
Oh, he's got to be. He's got to be. He did a great job on that.
I was happy to meet him. But again, back to the mat with the OH Report, live and free. We are looking at Ethan Amons, who is ranked 16th in the state at 113, and he's wrestling Aiden Ohl, who's ranked in the state at 106 for Ontario. These two are talented freshmen we're going to be watching for years to come. I know these boys.
Yeah, and you're seeing top wrestling. I mean, you got two of the best wrestlers, and that's one of the greatest sounds in wrestling right there.
They both come from name families.
Yep, great families.
Name families. The Ohls and the Amons. Name families.
And we're just going to let you watch them wrestle. You know, the other match done, senior high and Upper Sandusky is done.
But this is 113 pounds.
Yep.
I didn't see the Northmor 106-pounder come out for a forfeit, but he must have.
I
was talking to the young man from Ontario.
And right now, I brought up a former student of mine at Ontario, Mr. Leo Hess. Leo, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Coach.
I'm
how are you
glad to
doing?
hear that. One of the reasons I brought Leo up is because he is a parent of probably one of the top wrestlers in the area, his son Leo Hess, who we talked to earlier. Leo, what's it like watching your son out there?
You also brought him up because he's an intelligent man who gets a good interview.
Thank you.
I've talked to him before. He's going to be a good interview.
Yep.
It's great. I mean, to see my son, you know, we've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing it about 12, 13 years now, and you know, he's always been the one who, from the beginning, who's always wanted to put in the work to get better. And
so it goes right back to what we've been saying: biddy wrestling.
Yes. I think, my personal opinion, I think biddy wrestling is a staple for success in wrestling.
Well said.
It is, and you know, it's just unbelievable. We watch these athletes out here, and they are all athletes. If you wrestle, you are an athlete. You cannot be a non-athlete to step out there. But your son has done a great job. I followed him in football. I followed him, you know, all the way through with the wrestling and everything. He
was a good interview too.
Yeah, he did a great job in the interview, and he has ambitions. What are your goals for your son in the future here, Leo? Where would you like to see him in 4 or 5 years?
He has he's narrowed down to either IT work or cybersecurity or finance major, and I think that whatever he does, whatever he puts his mind to, he's going to be successful because he just has a hard-working attitude, you know, and he always has, you know, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
And that is right. You know, he's a great individual. I followed him. You know, I followed you when you were in school. I've known you for years, and son of a gun. The day's going to come. You know, there was a day when I had 3 sons in school. They're all playing sports. My calendar is booked. I was gone every night. I was coaching. The day's coming, Leo, when it's going to end. You know that, right?
Yes, I do know
this
that.
This match is about to end. Aiden Ohl's up 11-3 with under a minute to go. Under a minute left in the third period.
And it's a great, great match between these two.
I'll tell you what, that Amons kid is no punk. He's hanging with Ohl, and everybody knows who Aiden Ohl is.
And the other thing is they're going to meet again.
Probably in the
They'll
dorm.
meet again.
Yeah.
They're going to wrestle each other over and over.
Well, we don't know that because we don't know
what weight class.
Yeah, that's right. I can tell you that Amons is going to stay at 13, but I don't know where Aiden Ohl is going to go.
Leo, it's been great talking to you up here. You've got a great son out there.
Thank you, sir.
Did a great job with the interview. Good luck to you, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Don't you love how years later they still call you coach?
Yeah. And you know, it's through sports that make it. You know, and you do the same thing. You know, it's hard for me to go to a store without running into a student.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere, and same with you. And when they name a gymnasium after you, Mike Skelton, you know, you gave him your Visa card to have that put up, right?
That just means I'm old.
Yeah.
When they name something after you, that means you're at the end.
But what a match. You just saw a quality match between two young athletes.
Hey, I'm anxious to watch young Brady Carr wrestle. Brady Carr, the head coach's son, another talented freshman from Northmor, is about to wrestle at 120 pounds. And, it looks like that's going to be Jacob. Yep.
And wow, when you get these guys going at it, it's unbelievable.
Brady is taking on the number 1 ranked wrestler in the state of Ohio at 113 pounds. But tonight, Jacob Hull weighed in at 120. He weighed 119.3. So Brady drew a tough match here tonight. But he won't back down. Brady Carr won't back down. He has good bloodlines. Good mom, good dad. Good kid. So the team score at this point is Ontario 40, the Golden Knights of Northmor 12. Ontario way ahead.
Right now, both officials, you know, Upper Sandusky and Senior High match is over.
Who won that match, Bruce?
Senior High won it.
Good for Senior High.
Yep. And right now,
good for Jesse Palzer.
The two officials, they're team officiating. There's one that's in charge. The other one just backs him up. If there's any decisions need to be made, they talk, they confer between each other.
How about Ontario? They look solid, don't they?
They do.
You are looking at the projected state champion in the state of Ohio. This young man only lost one match last year. He was undefeated going into the state finals. Undefeated. I think he was 38-0 or some ridiculous.
But you take a look at what's going on right now with this wrestling tonight. You're seeing some of the top wrestling in the area right now. Early season matches. And boy, what a night. What an opening night, Mike. That's all I can say. It's a full house. Everybody's here. Everybody's watching what's going on. We've made our mistakes up in the booth.
Yeah, Jacob was 36-0 last year, not 38-0. 36-0 last year before getting pinned in the state finals by a repeat state champion, the Jordan boy from St. Paris Graham.
But right now, Ontario's ahead of Northmor 40-12 in the overall score. Ole is up 2-0 in his match. Tough match. You really got to give Northmor a hand. He's sticking it in there.
Brady Carr's got some good bloodlines himself.
Minute 30 to go in the second period. And what's it like, Mike, when you're a wrestler and you know you got to wrestle the number one wrestler in the weight class? How do you prepare a kid to do that? You know, let's say you're coming up against an Ole, and you're a wrestler from Northmor.
You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose.
You just go out and turn it loose.
Everything to gain. Respect.
And right now you got two wrestlers going at it. Ontario's up 4-0, second period, 40 seconds to go.
This is 120 pounds.
Old's got a cradle locked up now. Pulls him over. Back points are being countered off. Get the knee in the side. Push him away. Pull him back. To get out of the cradle, the only thing you can do is break those hands. You got to get the hands broken, and there's the pin.
With 22 seconds left in the second period.
Pin by Old.
You'll hear that a lot.
Oh, this is outstanding wrestling. What a wrestling night.
Okay, we're going to wrestle 126 pounds, and here comes Cohen Becker for Northmor.
Good wrestler.
Oh, Cohen Becker was 7th in the state last year as a freshman.
And you said that right, Mike? Freshman?
Yes, he's
freshman.
Ranked 5th in the state as a sophomore. He'll put on a show.
Throw by. Nice little throw by move.
Little slide by right there. He's wrestling Elias.
He puts
Tucker,
the half in.
Elias Tackett from Ontario.
See if he can't jump. Trying to take him over. Power half.
Elias towed the line. He's got guts.
He's got the half in deep. Turns the Ontario wrestler over.
The Becker name is a highly respected name within the Northmor community.
I look at it like a boa constrictor. They just keep getting it tighter and tighter and tighter. And if you're on the bottom, you start to
You saw the official slap the mat.
Next thing you know, it's a pin.
When the official slaps the mat, the match is over.
Yep. And we're about out of here. We got maybe one or two matches.
We've got 2 matches left, 132 and 138. At 132, Ontario has Owen Reamsnyder.
Ontario steps out on the mat. Northmor stepping out. 2 matches ago on this opening night of wrestling at Northmor High School.
At 132, Northmor is putting out Thomas Keene.
Right now, when I look at them, you can have 2 evenly matched wrestlers. Same build. They got that lanky build. I used to like these lanky wrestlers. They got arms. They can work in on the single leg. Ontario, single leg takedown. Up 2-0.
Some of the finest wrestlers I ever had were lanky.
Tall and lanky. They can put the cradle in, get the half settled in.
Use
right now he's got the half in, rolls him over. Now he's got to get it tighter and tighter and tighter.
Owen looks like he knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
You're better wrestlers. He's now reversed the half, and they just start sinking it deeper. You start taking your chin, putting it on his chest. If you're on the bottom, you start to feel a little bit of pressure. Start losing breath.
Respect for Thomas Keene. He's not giving up out there.
One of the hardest things to do in wrestling is work off of your back. But it's a sign of a great wrestler, too, that can.
Well, that's a young wrestler right now.
Yep. And you learn. You don't get better in wrestling by wrestling people you beat all the time. You have to wrestle somebody that's going to show you where your weaknesses are, and you've got to work on your weaknesses and get better at it.
Well said. This may be our last match, Bruce, because as I look at Ontario's lineup, they did not weigh in a 138-pounder.
Could be.
Northmor has Carson Campbell at that weight.
He's got the half on right now. He's squeezing it. And the pin.
I'm anticipating the final score being 46-24 because I think we're going to see a forfeit coming up here.
And there were a lot of forfeits, but we did get some matches in. We did make some mistakes on identifying them. We had wrong lists sent to us.
You know what? We still have to wrestle 144. Now,
coaches are talking. They don't know who's wrestling.
Well, that's 138 right there.
He gets the forfeit. Looks like we have one more match. 2 wrestlers are coming out.
I don't think Northmor has a 44-pounder left because they bumped up Bryce to wrestle 150.
So there's another forfeit. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it, we have no idea what's going on sometimes.
Well, I do. We bumped up Bryce Cooper. That big confusion at the beginning. They bumped up Bryce Cooper at the beginning of the match, to avoid Mason Turnbaugh. You just saw Mason Turnbaugh get a forfeit.
So now here we go. Everybody's coming out.
At 1:44, Mason Turnbaugh collected a forfeit.
This might be it for us. This might be the last match. Northmor, oh! Pulls him down on top.
I think you're looking at a JV,
2-1
JV match right now.
Yep.
These are not in the varsity lineup, and that's fine. It was a good night. 58-24. Final score, 58-24. Ontario defeats Northmor.
This is just a JV match. We're just trying to get a little mat time for some of these wrestlers, letting them go.
Northmor is at home again next Thursday. I hope to see everyone back out here next Thursday.
And by that time, lineups will start to become a little bit more stable.
You know, you're right. The interview that we had with the freshman clarified that. He talked about how he could go down next week based on certification.
And I mean, you take a look at the teams that are coming up. Northmore's got quality wrestlers. Senior high has quality wrestlers. I didn't see much on Upper tonight. I'm sorry about that. We were focused on Northmor. Ontario's got wrestlers. Galleon's got a program that's unbelievable this year with good wrestlers. This is a hotbed for wrestling, Mike.
Upper Sandusky, we didn't talk much about, coached by Noah Blankenship, a fine wrestler for Bucyrus High School back in the day.
That name rings a bell when you talk about wrestling.
I didn't get much of a chance to talk to Coach Blankenship, but he's a good man.
Yep. Coming to the end of the first period.
Kind of disappointed we didn't get to see any girls wrestle here tonight. None of these schools had a girl peppered into their lineup.
Well, it would have been nice if we had two girls teams. When are we going to have that night, you and I?
Only a matter of time. I down through the years, had some lightweight females that were pretty talented.
Yeah, when I was officiating, we had a good group of them, and usually at about 120,
yeah,
that's where they limited it out.
I hear you. I obviously, the higher in weight, the more difficult it is for a young lady to compete.
Single leg, heel trip. 16-6 right now, Ontario. We're looking at a tech fall. Anytime a person gets ahead by 15 points, it's a tech fall. The officials will call it.
There's John Spencer over there talking to Hayden Knoll right now.
It's kind of like a mercy rule. Back in the day before they had that tech fall, sometimes the kids were getting hammered. Unbelievable.
I'll give you a heads up. I know Spencer's working on a feature article that will talk about how many good young wrestlers there are in the greater Mansfield area.
Yep,
you mentioned that a minute ago, Bruce.
Yep.
And there's John Spencer over there interviewing one of those fine young athletes right now. It will be an article you want to read in the Mansfield News Journal down the line, because this area is saturated with talented wrestlers that have come up through the Biddy program.
And I tell you, I'm really looking forward to the J.C. Gorman.
You'll see those young athletes.
These gentlemen are going to be there. They're going to be ranked in the state. There's a pin. And I'll tell you, this is a great first night of wrestling.
Final
we
score,
made our
58-24.
mistakes. We made our mistakes tonight. We miscalled a couple, but hey, we're going to get over it. We're going to get better. The match is now over, and we'll be back after a break with our MVPs tonight.
Let's do this again next Thursday.
National Bank treats your dreams like they're our own. Whether it's making memories in your first home or making an impact in your community. At Park National Bank, what means a lot to you means a lot to us.
What's up, America? Brian Skoronsky here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Okay, this is Mike Skelton back. It's time now for our Ruth's Farm MVP. Ruth's Farm is one of our big sponsors here tonight at Northmor. We appreciate them very much. And our MVPs tonight are a set of brothers. How about that? A set of brothers from Ontario. I have in front of me freshman Hayden Gray and sophomore junior Jacob Gray. Jacob was a state runner-up last year and has moved up in weight, and his younger brother, Aiden, is now wrestling. Aiden, you wrestled 113 here tonight.
Yep.
But I'm assuming you're going to go down to 106?
Yep, I'm going down to 6.
When do you plan to do that, sir?
I plan to do that in 2 or 3 weeks for a meet at home, or a duel at home.
All right. When are you eligible to do that?
I think I got 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. So your plans are pretty smart. It sounds like you're going to make weight one time at 106, and then you're going to get those 2 pounds at Christmas, and everybody in the state of Ohio gets those 2 additional pounds at Christmas.
Yep.
So you can weigh 108 then.
Yep.
Smart move. Now, how about you, Jacob? You are ranked #1 in the state, young man. You're ranked at 113 pounds, but you wrestled 120 here tonight?
Yeah, I weighed too high for my weight certification, so I can't go down to 113. So I'm just going to have to.
You're not going to go down at all this year?
I can't.
Okay, okay. All right, that's the kind of thing. Bring it up a little bit. In case you didn't hear that, Jacob, who is ranked #1 in the state at 113. Again, everything, as we've pointed out a number of times here tonight, is speculative with wrestlers as to far as what weight class they're going to go. At times tonight we were confused who the coaches were throwing out on the mat. It was really confusing at 144 and 150.
Yeah.
When they threw a couple guys out there to collect forfeits at 150 and 157.
And brought them back.
Then brought them back and started over. And we were confused up here. Whoa, what's going on? So the bottom line is you're not going to go 113 at all this year. That's big news for not just the OH report, but the state of Ohio.
Yeah, I made 113 for Super 32. Then
That's okay.
It was a tough cut.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do it again, so I just decided to go 120.
I think you made a good decision. Why make your winter miserable? Wrestle where you weigh. What's your natural weight, sir?
Like 135 probably. Like
Okay.
Just eating and drinking whatever I want.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. How about you, Aiden?
My natural weight's probably like 115.
Okay.
So not far off.
When I was in high school, many decades ago, I wrestled lightweight, so I understand. No gravy on the turkey at Thanksgiving.
Or the stuffing.
Or the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
It pretty much was turkey and veggies. What did you guys have for Thanksgiving?
Oh, man.
Turkey, veggies, a little bit of cranberry sauce.
A few rolls with butter on them.
Oh, you put butter on the rolls?
Only two.
Everybody thinks wrestlers starve to death, and that's not the case. You just, in a disciplined manner, learn to look at your calories.
You got to work it off.
Well said. You can't outwork a bad diet, though. Let me give you a good piece of advice. Regardless of what age you are, you can't outwork a bad diet. You can't out-train a bad diet.
Yeah.
Don't throw those chips into your body, because I'm looking forward to watching both of you wrestle, not just in the J.C. Gorman, but in March in the Schottenstein Center.
Oh, it'll happen.
Both
of us will be down there.
You are our Ruth Farms MVPs tonight, and Avita is also one of our sponsors here tonight. We appreciate them very much. And gentlemen, I'm happy to talk to you. We'll see you again, I'm sure, okay?
Thank you for having us.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a good season.
Thank you.
And that's it for the OH Report here this evening. That's it for the OH Report. Are we done?
Well, that'll do it for Mike and me, we're going to let Hayden wrap things up here tonight.
Thanks, guys.
No, I thank you.
That will wrap things up, though, here from Northmor High School. Want to thank our sponsors one last time tonight. Ruth Farms. Contact Zach Ruth at 419-989-0341. And Avita Workwell, our scoreboard and player of the game sponsor. Ruth Farms was our pre-half, post, and interview and replay sponsor, as well as Park National Bank, our commercial sponsor. I had so much fun that I lost my voice tonight. Hopefully you did tonight, too, at home tuning in. Thank you. We want to thank the Northmor Athletic Department, Athletic Director Blake Tackett, for letting us come over here and do this, and that'll do it. So thanks for tuning in to high school wrestling live and free here on the OH Report. I want to thank Adam Thompson, director and producer for this evening. I want to thank Mike Skelton and Bruce Weirich on commentary tonight, and want to thank you, the fans, for tuning in. You've been watching high school wrestling live and free on the OH Report, powered by BS Media Productions, the future of local sports. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and have a good night.